If your Instagram story views are going down, there are 3 reasons, but don't worry because there are so many ways to increase your story views. Hello, it's Meg. First of all, let's understand what a normal amount of Instagram story views are, because I think we all have a too high standard. One person reached out to me recently and said, Meg, I have 3,000 followers, but I don't get 3,000 story views. And this is why I'm making this video, to explain that your follower count and story views will never be the same number. So let me break it down for you. If you type average Instagram story view into Google, this is what you get. It does depend on how many followers you have, but my videos are for small creators, so I'm going to use 7.45%. And let's use my new Instagram account for example. I currently have 550 followers, so 7.45% of 550 is 40.96. Let's round that up and say 41. If I get 41 views when I post a story, that is considered normal. So if you have 1,000 followers, then 72 story views are normal. If you have 3,000 followers, then 224 story views are normal. I think a lot of you were thinking of a higher number, but actually it is quite low, and it's not just you getting low numbers. Well, I do get around 300 views on average, so more than 50% of my followers are actually watching my stories. And I think that's amazing, and I will share how I do that later in the video. Right now, you want to know why you're losing so many views, so let me explain. Let's use my account again as an example. Having 550 followers can mean that I have the potential of getting 500 story views, but that will never happen, and this is why. First, inactive followers. These are people who followed you but don't use Instagram anymore and haven't unfollowed you. Or maybe they do still use Instagram, just not as much as they used to. A lot of studies show that 29.9% of users appear to be inactive. So with my account, that is roughly 165 users. Now let's take that away from 550 and I am left with 385 potential story views. Then we also have bots, unfortunately. Studies suggest that 7.9% of many people's accounts are actually bots, and that isn't your fault. Everyone has bots, they just come and go, and there is nothing you can do about that. The more followers you have, the more bots you have. It's just the way it is. So 7.9% of 550 is 43.45. Let's just say 44. So if I take that away from 385, I am left with 341 potential story views. Now the next one is kind of hard to calculate, but the way Instagram stories are presented has an effect on your low views too. The area that stories are shown is just too small, and there is no actual way to be shown to all of the people who follow you. I have an iPhone 14 Pro, an iPhone 11 Pro, an iPhone 8 and an iPhone 6. Using all phones, when I am on the app, I can only see around 3 to 5 stories on my screen. Yes, I can scroll to the right, but compared to scrolling on the feed, I think less people scroll to the right to watch stories. And I only follow around 190 people. If you were following hundreds of people, there is no way you will see everyone's stories, even if you are on the app for hours. So the same goes for your account too. I don't have the percentage for this one, but from my own experience, and like I said earlier, I will say about half of the people who could potentially be watching my stories actually never do. So that brings the view count down from 341 to 170.5. Let's just say 171, which means that for most of you, almost 70% of your followers will not see your Instagram stories, even if your content is good. They just can't see it, and it's not your fault. But now we know what we can't control, let's move on to what we can control. You can control how the 30% will watch and react to your story. First, by making interesting content. Compared to in-feed posts, I think stories can be a bit more casual. But then again, if it's not interesting, people will just swipe or tap to see someone else's story. Spark emotion or a conversation. Ask people questions. Stop people from swiping and tapping. Second, don't post the same thing all the time. Posting something similar every week I think is fine. Some people will look forward to it. But if you do it every day, your followers will know exactly what you will be posting. And if they're not interested, they will never tap your profile icon to watch your story. And that sends a signal to Instagram, and they will think that people aren't enjoying your content. Third, irrelevant content like off-niche content. Again, I think stories can be more casual than in-feed posts, but if you are posting anything and everything, some people probably won't watch because that's not the content they signed up for. If you are a makeup review account, but your stories are always about your dog, your breakfast, your outfit of the day, no offense, but unless you are really popular, no one will really care. Fourth, you are posting at the wrong time. I actually see so many people do this, and they post when their followers are asleep. They might be wide awake, but their audience isn't, so the initial views will be very low. And if the momentum is low, your stories won't get shown to other people. Fifth, your profile picture isn't worth the click. To look at someone's stories, you need to click their profile icon, but if that icon isn't appealing, no one would click it. This is why you need an eye-catching icon or something that will explain what your account is about. I have this as my profile icon because I'm bold in it and it leaves an impact. Sixth, no captions or subtitles. Studies suggest that around 80% of people use Instagram with the sound off, myself included. A lot of people use Instagram on public transport or outside where they don't want to or can't put the volume up. So if you don't have captions or subtitles, then people just won't watch your stories because they won't know what's going on, especially if you are talking in that video. Seventh, inconsistency. You don't have to post every day, but you need to post enough so that people remember you and can actually engage with you, because that is what Instagram loves. It's called social media. Let's be social. Eighth, you are posting too much. When the line becomes dashes and then dots, people just won't click to watch. It's just too much content and people will feel overwhelmed. And when people get too much options, they tend to take no action. Ninth, resharing too many things. It's nice to put light on other people's posts, but it's not your content and people want to see content from you. So what can you do to increase your story views? Flip what I just said. Make interesting and engaging content. And the easiest way is to use stickers, polls, anything that Instagram lets you use. It makes it easier for people to react. Rotate around them and use it to your advantage. Make relatable content or content that spark emotion because people tend to react to that. We want people to react. Even if it's just a heart, it is so much better than getting no response. Give people a reason to watch. I would say value, but value is hard to measure, so let me give you an example. I don't really care about Instagram's latest features and updates, but some of you may. So say someone posts the latest features and updates on their stories every time there is something new. You would watch it to stay up to date. That is value. If someone posts sales updates, like this week this mascara is on sale at wherever, you would watch it to see what's on sale that week. Again, that is value. Have a variety of things to post so people don't get bored, but try to stay focused and keep inside your lane, your niche. Analyze what sort of stories people react to and post more of those. Watch other people's stories, learn from them and actually react to them. Post at peak times and stay on the app after you post, so when people do reply to your stories and you get a DM, you can respond straight away and also let them know how much you appreciate them. So many people post and ghost. Don't be that person. Brush up that profile icon and try to smile like me. A smile will always capture someone's attention. Use captions and subtitles. Let people know what you are saying. Try to post at least once a week. I'm not going to say every day because I don't and I can't and I won't. The more you show up, the more chances people will see you and react, but make sure you space it out. Once a week works for me because there's just enough time for my followers to think, I wonder if she's doing okay, and then bam, I post. Try to post original content because stories are shown to your true followers and not so much to new followers. If you can't capture the attention of your true followers, you won't be able to capture the attention of new followers. And create for the true followers. Maybe you're not getting a lot of views, but go into that list and see who is actually watching your stories. I bet that there are a few people who watch every single story you share, even if it's not good. Cherish those people. Let go of the perfection and be yourself. Open up a bit, be more vulnerable. Show yourself slightly more. Update people about your life and what you're going through, because people actually do care and want to know more about you. And understand that your personality is your superpower and that your life is not boring as long as you package it properly. And most importantly, enjoy the process. Happy growing.